Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for the weekly SmackDown Event Center report. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings on WWE SmackDown every Friday night, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode number 2317 of the show, and we're about finished up, ladies and gentlemen. I figured I'd do this, and Friday the 13th, 2023, Friday, June 13th, 2025, 11:19 p.m. SmackDown is over. The Red Sox-Yankee game, first game at Fenway Park for the Red Sox and Yankees. Red Sox won Game 1 on the walk-off, and I think tomorrow's game is going to be on Fox as the game of the week. As you know, Red Sox-Yankees. That's fun. I can watch it on TV. Well, John Cena kicks off SmackDown in Lexington, Kentucky, addressing the Lexington crowd, and he's a little ticked off at our troop, a.k.a. Ron Killings, and and he's saying that nobody is worthy of taking the title off him. And Cody Rhodes interrupts him and says a few things to Cena. And then Randy Orton interrupts both Cody Rhodes and John Cena. And has his say. And then LA Knight interrupts Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Cena, Rhodes, and Orton. He has his say. And as you know, he says King of the Ring season is there, and then as John Cena decided to ignore all three and walk away, Ron Killings attacks him, and security had to separate him. And then John Cena was in the back arguing with Nick Aldis, baseball manager style, like a manager arguing with an umpire, which is hilarious. And then it leads to the King of the Ring first round as Orton and Knight, I should say, waited for Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black, and Randy Orton won the SmackDown semifinal, and next week he'll be facing Sami Zayn in one half of that semifinal bracket. And then because Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker attacked LA Knight during the matchup, I'm sure LA Knight will have something to say about that. And then Jacob Fatu addresses why he turned on Solo Sikoa to the Lexington crowd. And then Solo Sikoa interrupts him and says, "Hey, next week, I'll take you back. All you'd say is four words to me. I love you, Solo." And if Solo Sikoa keeps running his mouth, bad-mouthing Jacob Fatu, well, let's just say that, bad things could happen. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, the Secret Herbalist was talking to Nick Aldis and said Chelsea Green's not here, but then they were FaceTiming, and then Chelsea Green wanted the match to be postponed the next week, and then Nick Aldis goes, "Nah, Alba Fire could take your spot." So Alba Fire will take Chelsea Green's spot in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and Zelina Vega comes now to Aldis, says she wants Julia. Since Julia's not here, he said, "Well, give her to me next week." And Nick Aldis already gotten problems here. It's Friday the 13th, dude. And so the Queen of the Ring first round, Jade Cargill, Piper Niven, Michin, and Nia Jax. And Jade Cargill ends up winning the matchup. Naomi addresses being Miss Money in the Bank. And Tiffany Stratton interrupts Naomi, said, "Go ahead, cash it on me." And then as Naomi walks out, here comes Nia Jax attacking Tiffany Stratton. And Naomi was about to cash in. Nia Jax says, "Nah, stay out of this." Wait, somebody stay out of this. Listen, I'm Money in the Bank. I'm cashing in. You're not standing in my way. But Naomi fought otherwise. Meanwhile, Nick Aldis was talking to the tag teams with the Wyatt Six. He said, "You know what? After all this happening, Motor Machine Guns, you'll get the first crack at him." Motor Machine Guns went out, and it was against Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy of the Wyatt Six. Heck of a tag match, but Lumis and Gacy ended up defeating the former tag team champions. And you know what? Hey, listen, the New Day's been running their mouths about no team worthy enough to beat them. Let's get the Morrison Machine Guns over to Monday Night Raw and see if they can knock off the New Day. That's what I think should happen. And then John Cena in the back confronted Jimmy Uso asking about Ron Killings or R-Truth. I ain't seen either one of them. You see, you tell him to go out in the ring, I'm waiting for him. John Cena comes out, calls out Ron Killings. Instead, CM Punk interrupts John Cena, and he starts talking trash to Cena about Night of Champions. And then, as Punk walked away, here comes Ron Killings, got John Cena in the STFU, and John Cena walked away limping a little bit. That's what you get, John Cena. You turn your back on the fans, they're going to get you. In fact, R-Truth's going to get you. Byron Saxton interviewed Alexa Bliss, saying that she is going to win the Queen of the Ring. But then Charlotte Flair looks at her and goes, "I'm the only queen around here," and then it leads up to the second qualifying match. By the way, with Jade Cargill's victory in the qualifying match, in the first round of the Queen tournament, she will be going up against Roxanne Perez in the semifinals. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Roxanne Perez and Jade Cargill. Cargill's like almost near 6 feet tall, statuesque, and you've got Roxanne Perez only 5 feet of fury, man. That's Alexa Bliss, but somehow I think Liv Morgan is going to mess up Roxanne Perez's progress to the Queen of the Ring tournament. We'll find out for sure. And then it leads to Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Candice LeRae versus Alba Fire, filling in Chelsea Green. And the crazy part about the ending of that match was Charlotte Flair had Alba Fire locked up in the figure 8, and it almost seems like she was going to tap. And then Alexa Bliss hit the Twisted Bliss, ends up Alexa Bliss hits, I think, not the Twisted Bliss, but the Sister Abigail on Candice LeRae and goes to pin her. And then the referee was looking at, Dan Angler, a.k.a. Rudy Charles, looking at both situations. And then I'm counting to 3. And I think Alba Fire's shoulders were up and did not tap out. So the winner of that match was Alexa Bliss. And Charlotte Flair was none too happy about that. So Alexa Bliss will face the winner of Asuka. Of Asuka, Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez, and one more person I think is in that matchup. Give me a second here. We got a new subscriber. I want to give a shout out to the Binky 2LK. The Binky 2LK. The Binky 2LK has been around since 2009. The Binky 2LK, thank you for your subscription and support. If you have any questions about my channel or any of my videos, please let me know. And so the Binky 2LK. So, all right, that's what I meant to do. Okay. So. Let's see, news. Let's see, yeah, Stephanie Vaquer, Asuka, Ivy Nile. So the winner of the upcoming Raw matchup between Stephanie Vaquer, Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez, and returning Asuka will face Alexa Bliss. Seeing Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer in the ring at the same time is going to be very insane, let me tell you. So there's that. And Nicholas confronts Ron Killings about John Cena, and he says, I want him in the matchup. And so that match will be happening next week. Ron Killings, one-on-one John Cena non-title match. And then Cody Rhodes about to go out to the ring for the men's second first round matchup on SmackDown. Well, a friendly reminder, this is Fallout from Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide, by the way. and the King, and then Punk ends up talking to him, shaking his hand, and said, you know, we got to get that title off Cena or something like that. So Cody Rhodes faces Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade, and Damian Priest. Heck of a match between these four guys. And they brought, even Cody Rhodes put out a table with Slim Jim signs on them. I don't know what's up with that. But in the end, Cody Rhodes wins the matchup. He will face the winner of the Sheamus, Rusev, Reed, and Jey Uso is the fourth man. I kind of consider Jey Uso has to face Cody Rhodes again. That would be an interesting situation. Well, that's all the time we have on the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Eric Lima's Shenanigans 1977. Again, I want to thank the Binky2LK for subscribing to my channel. And I do appreciate that wholeheartedly. Thank you for tuning in. So, I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, and good night, everybody, by the way. See you tomorrow. Card Sharks. Sharks in Suits Saturday. Another episode of Card Sharks. Money cards. See how I do there, how I fare there. So I'll see you later. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.